How's it going, everybody? This is Beat the Bush. This is the Lumary Smart Bathroom Fan Light. It has an RGB ring light over here, a center light, and also a fan. Today I'm going to show you guys how to install this even if your bathroom ceiling fan does not have the same exact dimensions. The cutout needed for this one's about 9.5 inches by 10.25. Let me go back and unbox it, show you what's included, and also test out the fan before actually installing it. User manual, 4 screws, paper template for the sizing, and the fan itself. There's a remote. Let's see the fan first. Inside this bag, there's also 2 more screws and 2 more drywall anchors. There are 3 wires. Each of them comes with these newer clip style connectors. You just pop them open, put a stripped wire in, and close them up, and it'll be connected. The fan is this blower type. It's meant to go this way. This is the top. This is the bottom where the air goes in. There's a telephone style connector here for the light. Here we have the exhaust port. It opens up when the air is pushed. Normally it's heavier on the bottom, so if the fan is not moving, this will be closed. This is a Lumary Smart Bathroom Fan Light. You have an RGB light that can turn in various modes. There are different color temperature of white that you can set it to. 13 watts LED light at its maximum, which is about 2 light bulbs worth. The fan power is 17 watts, 110 cubic feet per minute, and other information. The light is over here. It's kind of diffused and it's part of the vent cover. The cable from the main unit goes in the center hole right here, and it's mounted with these clips on the side, 1 and 2. To mount the vent, put this recess right over the corners and then pull this spring into this hole. Pull the other one and close it in there. You do the same thing with the other side. Push that into that hole. There you go. And now these springs will automatically pull it into the fixture, and now it's kind of stuck in there. You can pull it a little bit and it'll just draw itself in. The 2 screws and the 2 drywall anchors is for the remote mount. Of course, it's optional to mount this. It looks like batteries are not included. The template that comes with it is not the exact size as this inner square, but if you cut it to this length, you won't be able to use these screws as attachment points. Notice that there are 2 indents over here. You can push those out and screw the fan into the joist through the side rather than through the bottom. It's on both sides, right here and also right here and here. Before installing this and cutting holes into the wall or putting screws into the wall, it's recommended to test it first. I have this AC cable. I've connected the longer prong, that's one of these longer ones over here, to neutral, which is the white wire, and then the shorter prong is line, which is the black wire. It's not connected to ground because I'm just testing it for now, and we can just flip the switch and turn it on. The light turns on, however, the fan does not turn on. And when you do this, it's immediately in pairing mode. So we can pair it with the app first. For the remote, put in some batteries. It uses 2 AAAs. Open the Lumary app. Create an account if you have not already. Select the plus sign in the upper right. Add device. Usually if you have a new device that's just powered on, it's gonna show right here. So this is the ceiling fan. I'm just gonna add it. Enter in your Wi-Fi information. Now it shows the fan is being added. It'll take some time for it to be connected. So let's wait for that. Okay, it's added. So let's say done. It goes right into the ceiling fan. Here we can change the temperature from a very yellow color, a pure white, or kind of like a bluish tint. At the bottom, there's also a couple of things you can pre-select, blue or kind of like 50% brightness. When you select the night light, it turns on the color. This ring on the side is the color selection, and it's at 30% right now. But let's say I want a very, very dim night light, and I want it to be as dim as possible to not disturb my sleep. So this is 1%, or we can do a yellow at 1%. I can turn on the fan with this power button. There we go. Or within the app, we can go to the fan icon at the bottom. This is the 4th one. I can turn on and off the beeping whenever you turn on and off the fan. So no beeping right now. You can turn it on, turn it off, or with the beep, turn it on, it beeps, or turn it off. Double beep to turn off. With the Lumary app, there's a lot of different ways to make this shine like a rainbow color. These lights are individually controlled. It looks like there's at least 10 different LEDs around this perimeter to make this rainbow color. When you go down this list, you can see it goes on and on. Any different color scheme that you like. Let's say this blue one, or like this purple one, and so on and so forth. There's also this music mode. If I play it, we need to allow this app access to the microphone, and it will sync whatever the phone hears to the light. So I have the music playing here, and if I turn on this music rhythm, the light starts dancing along with the music in the phone. Unfortunately, there's no sensitivity adjustment or anything. You can only just turn it on or turn it off. The fan allows you to turn it on and off, but no speed control or anything. There's also a countdown, a timer, switch gradient, light strip line order, light strip length, which does not apply, power on behavior. So this is important because when you power it on, you want it to restore whatever it was at last. There's also a countdown timer of, let's say, 10 seconds. Save. Right there, it turned off after 10 seconds. And then also there's the timer, where we can add a timer and arrange to turn it on in a weekly schedule to turn on the white light or the color light or the fan at a certain time and also a certain duration. Unfortunately though, I would like to see the power on behavior have the fan turn on as well. When I select customize, it doesn't show anything like that because the switch in my bathroom will turn on this light and I expect that to turn on the fan. In order to make this work, you have to leave this connected to the AC power and use the remote or your phone to turn on and off the light or the fan. You also need to pair this remote with the fan. To do that, just turn it off and then turn it on. Then press the remote button, power button, for 3 seconds until this thing blinks 3 times. Now the remote is paired and you can just use this to turn on everything. Turn on the night light, turn off the night light, turn on the RGB light, turn on the central light, change the brightness to very bright or very dim, and change the color temperature as well here to very orangey, yellow. For the RGB light, you can just keep on pressing it and it'll change colors. Turn off the central light, turn off the ring light. So everything you can just control with this remote. Now that we know everything works, I'm gonna install it into the ceiling. We're now in my bathroom. This is an original bathroom fan, so just pull on the vent cover right here. Squeeze these clips to release it. See, it's like a little grabber thing. Both of them out. Because the switch is off, there's no power to this. But for extra safety, you might wanna turn off the breakers. For this one, I can just unplug this and remove this screw right here. Right there, just one. This then just kind of pops off. Then this pulls right out like this. This is the external shell, but I do not see any nails nailing it in place. There's a bunch of paint on the inside surface, so I'm gonna scrape it a little bit. Maybe I can reveal some screws. I'm in the attic now to check out the vent exhaust housing. The exhaust tube goes right here, all the way up to the roof where the moisture can get extracted. It's beneath all this insulation, so let me get in there. You may not have to do this like I am if you know how to remove that box from underneath, but I don't. So it's right here. The power is going in here. So yeah, here's the screw. I can't access it from underneath, so I gotta remove this. And there's this big insulated vent tube that's in the way too. So let me see how I can get down there with both hands. I couldn't reach that screw with the screwdriver because this vent is in the way. So I need this hex driver. This may not apply to you depending on how your old vent is set up. So now this should be free. Now I can probably work on this from below. First I'll unscrew these terminals, 2 of them. And then that vent hose is still attached to the bottom right here. It's screwed in right there. So I'll just unscrew that. And now this thing should be completely free. In my ceiling, the fan is mounted on 4 screws on this stud right here. The next stud on this side is kind of like over here. So if I cut the hole out for the fan, it's not going to be able to reach the stud. So what I'm thinking of doing is adding, you know, like additional studs, just kind of extend from this one so that when I mount it, I can have it go into this stud and into the extensions over here. First, let me remove this guy. And it looks like they put some paper all around the hole and then painted over it. So it's a little bit stiffer right here. I'm just gonna cut it to the hole size I need. This is a bathroom light, so I'd rather have it extend this way than further in. So I'm gonna go like this. That's the hole we need. Makes it really handy to have this oscillating tool, or you can just use one of these drywall cutters with a hand tool. But this makes it a lot easier. Wear ear protection, eye protection, breathing protection, because you have a lot of this drywall coming out. Just like that, comes off. This is kind of bigger than the hole, so you gotta put this side in first. Looks like the hole needs to be about 3/8 of an inch longer in order for this to easily roll right in. I've loosened this box. You really shouldn't have to do that. And let's see if we can fit that right in. Oh, yep. There we go. The diameter of the Lumary ventil is 4 inches. The inner diameter of this ventil is actually 3 inches. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with any adapters. You have to go get it on your own. Off to the hardware store. I'll be right back. I'll be using these holes, so I'm going to punch them out. And I'm using this template to mark where the holes will be, so I can put those 2x4 reinforcements at the right spacing. Let's see if it pops out. Oh, pretty easily. Do the other side. The inner vent cover comes out from the bottom, so I would rather put the screw on top so it doesn't interfere with this little flap. I'm using these self-drilling sheet metal screws. This is a 4-inch to 3-inch adapter. Put that right on here and put that right in. Okay, so I'm going to put this in there with this little extension. It looks like it'll fit. Yep. So now I can seal this with some tape. One piece. I have built these little offsets, some ties here with nails put in. This will do one screw and the other screw here. I'll put the other one in now. This little box was so dangling a bit too much. I was afraid it's going to sever the wire, so I taped it in place. But at this point, I can connect everything first, like right here. Sheet metal screw here just to hold it in place rather than just relying on just tape. There you go. Now put the tape right on top of the seam. Fish for the electrical wire right here. And these quick connect clips are really easy to use. Connect black to black, close it, white to white, close it, ground to ground, close it. Now I just need to push this back into place. One of the screws in. All right, there's 4 screws are in. Plug this in, the spring's in. All right, you just kind of wiggle it. Oh, it's in place. Here we are, all done. This thing had 1, 2, 3, 4 screws to put back on. I put it back, but the bottom screws, because of the thickness of the drywall and the ceiling, I couldn't use this bigger screwdriver. See, look. It's like it won't go all the way in. So I had to use this more narrow one to close up those screws. It's pretty hard to put them back in. It would work well if they somehow made this more narrow so that I don't have to remove the box in order to install it. These cross beams are working out really well, although it's a little tight right here, but it's in there very solidly. Now I just gotta put the insulation back. There we go, just like that. Although not as easy as I thought it would be. Turn on the fan. 110 cubic feet per minute. Turn it off. Turn on the RGB light around the side. Different scenes. I'm gonna press the scene 1 time. You can kind of use this like mood lighting. Push the RGB, turn the RGB off, and change the color temperature to, let's say, something a lot warmer, like kind of like candlelight. And then maybe you can dim it a little bit, or all the way up. And like before, you can use the app. You don't have to twiddle around with this remote. There are timer functions. If you guys are interested in this Lumary Smart RGB fan light, check out my affiliate link down in the video description below.